Madam Chairperson Gamblin,
Present.
Member Sherrod, Don Sherrod,
Here.
Ms. Warner,
Here.
Ms. Johnson,
Here.
Mendy,
Here.
Ms. Mazumba.
Here.
Before we get started, I would like to welcome Ms. Mindy, and Craig is now taking Steve Rucker's place, so welcome, both of you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to swear anyone, because this is adjudication hearing, this is based on facts and not public opinion. Therefore, anyone that is going to testify must be sworn in. If you wish to testify, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth? You are sworn in.
We all got a packet with the minutes in it. So can I get an approval of the minutes from when we met in July? So moved.
I'll make a motion that we accept the July minutes.
I'll second.
Okay. So it's been moved and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No opposed? Okay, thank you. And now, Craig, usually this is what Steve would explain to us about this packet here. So if you have anything that you would like to say about that.
Sure, and I would assume this is your beautification grant funds. And just to give you kind of a brief update, we did get an email from Debbie Eversole today, basically on kind of like what is left funding-wise for 2025, and she basically said around 7,000 is basically what we have left.
Okay.
I don't know how much detail you want me to go into about how many projects there were, or if you were just kind of looking at how much funding is left for the remainder of 2025 for what was dedicated for the beautification.
Unless any board members want him to go in more detail, that sums it for me. What we have is what we have left, and this is for 2025. But does any board member have a question?
Yeah, I have a question, Madam Chair. The one that says canceled, so, like, for the project, okay, let me back up. It says canceled 4/18/25, project cost was 3,328, but then the code funds committed was 1664. So did we commit 1664, and it was still canceled on 4/18, meaning that the total project was not completed?
Maybe to clarify,
I think they sold the property. This
Just
would,
concerning the property at 719.
It really doesn't have anything to do with the property per se. I'm just trying to understand what does canceled mean.
It's 817 Perry.
And then the other one is 1218 Vine. It says,
so
it's under cancel column.
Yeah.
1218 Vine Street,
Oh, it's-
they had completed.
It's
They had-
1218 Vine, I
This
got
is
an
date
email
completed.
from
This
Ms.
is like
Eversole indicating
canceled, it's just for this
1218
one.
Oh,
has
okay.
completed. So
Yeah,
I will be going by that tomorrow
I-
and confirming.
I showed her,
explained.
she had the chart, she thought the gray was the header,
Right.
not that it was highlighted.
Yeah.
That's a highlight, not a header.
It's because I came early, Ron. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. No, so I appreciate that. Thank you. 'Cause it looks like that's highlighted. So, okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Old business?
There's none.
Okay. New business.
We have case number EN 22-0296. April Rowe is appealing to the Third Administrative Penalty for 1524 Columbus Avenue, Sandusky, Ohio 44870, parcel number 57-03309.00.
Just pass these out. The meeting for today.
Good evening. Ron Snyder, Inspector for the City of Sandusky Code Compliance Office. So just confirming that the residents we're here to discuss is 1524 Columbus Avenue. So this starts clear back in April 7th, 2022. I had initially written this property up for a number of infractions. Those were fence maintenance, displaying of new numbers or residential numbers, exterior surface maintenance, primarily paint. Basically, I'm going to go through and review, showing you what the initial write-ups were. You can see there the fencing issue. The picture to the left is going to be to the south side of that property. The picture to the right would be the same side of that property looking through. We had the numerics there. Was it just a question? It was just a repaint and went over the numbers. They couldn't be seen. That has since been addressed. There was issues with dormers on all three, at least three sides of the house. The picture to the right is going to be to the south. The picture to the left is to the west. And then the picture on the left there is going to be the dormer on the north side of that residence. The picture to the right, you can see that this residence had been initially damaged by fire. We still had charring marks on that north side. Sorry. And this would be on the east side of the residence, to where there was a lot of paint concerns on that would be the back of the residence, that yellow paint coming off. So back on September 19th of 2022, due to the fact that the violations had not been corrected or finished, there was an administrative penalty administered. October 12th, Ms. Rowe had filed an appeal, and on November 29th, she appeared before this board to appeal her $100 administrative penalty. On that evening, Housing Appeals Board members heard the arguments concerning the administrative penalty, subsequently waived and/or granted the appeal. Timelines were then reestablished and property monitored for change and/or progress. However, due to the winter-like conditions in November, her timeline was pushed out to April 13th of 2023. 4 days before the next inspection, received notification from Ms. Debbie Eversole that Ms. Rowe had been a recipient of the Community Development Beautification Grant. She had until October 9th of 2023 to have that work done. I didn't go out, do any more inspections after that point, went out on October 9th, and it revealed that the work was not complete. She failed to fulfill the mandates set forth by the beautification grant. I do believe you have a letter in front of you
Mr.
that
Ryan, just
does.
real quick, when you said that Debbie said that she received money for the beautification grant, do you know how much she received at that time?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I don't think that was money that was actually paid.
Okay,
Okay, the work has to be done before any money is given to the recipient by the city.
okay, gotcha.
Again, I believe you do have a letter in front of you from Debbie Eversole indicating that was sent to Ms. Rowe, now informing her that since the mandates of that grant were not met, she is ineligible from that date for 3 years before she can apply again for that beautification grant. On October 27, 2023, again, reestablished the timelines, letter sent, informing Ms. Rowe the same, and next inspection date, November 17th of 2023. Just a little side note there. So from November 17th, 2023 to September 12th of 2025, almost 2 years, Ms. Rowe was granted 6 extensions for various reasons. In November, it was request due to weather. April of 2024, again, extension for weather. May of 2024, I did note that the front dormer on the residence had been painted. She was granted an extension. July of 2024, there had been a mishap in regards to mail being sent. Right, they were automatically, she and the other property owner were automatically granted an extension. That was my mistake. August of 2024, an extension, text message previous day, last minute with a contractor. She was making an attempt to deal with a contractor, but again, she waited right up almost until the inspection date in order to try to get this done. September 2024, basically, it was weather, contractor's medical issues. I believe we were having an excessive amount of rain. The contractor in which she was trying to get to do this work was having some medical concerns. However, no paperwork presented to me in regards to any quotes or any kind of information on the contractor. October 18th, 2024, an inspection conducted with no work done. A $100 administrative penalty was administered. That penalty was not appealed and has yet to be paid. November 20th of 2024, granted an extension due to weather. Pushed her out till May 12th of 2025. Progress, granted an extension. June 12th. There's a typo in the presentation. I apologize. It says items had to be added, put back on the violations list. Dormer on the south side of the residence had a broken window. Initially, there was a point to where one of the windows in that dormer, I had mentioned to her previously that there was a broken window. She had told me that no, she believed that her son had just had that open. But when the property adjacent to her was demolished, now this exposed or opened up the entire south side of Miss Rowe's property where everything could be seen a lot better. And there was a window in that dormer that was in fact broke. The fencing on both the north and south sides were starting to fail again. These had to be added back to the violations list. There was no contact from Ms. Rowe, no work done, there was no progress there. So a second administrative penalty was administered on July 18th. No appeal, still not paid. August 20th, 2025, again, no contact from Ms. Rowe. These were the photos as of that date. You can see the dormer on the south side of the residence, the center window. The paint concerns on that dormer had not been addressed. This would be the fence to the south side of the residence. Just a section of that dormer up there would be to the right side of that photo. This would be the dormer on the north side. There's some paint concerns that have not been addressed. I know it's kind of hard to see there. The left photo there, you can see where the gate for that fence has failed. It's leaning back against itself. The photo on the right, up near the back door on that left side, all the paint in that yellowed area there is almost gone. Send out a notification of third administrative penalty. This would be the certificate of mail. That would be an evaluation for the penalty and the invoice sent. August 20th, 2025. Again, it was administered for $1,000. September 11th, Ms. Rowe filed an appeal for the third administrative penalty. This would be her appeal. So as of yesterday's date, I went back over to the property and took photos. You can see that the fence is still in a condition to where it's failing. This would be on the south side of the residence as well, to where that paint is flaking, nothing. Again, this was exposed as of Mr. Matthews's property had been abated from the property next door. This could finally be seen. This would be the dormer on the south side. Window is still missing, no paint around that dormer. Same dormer, just on it would be on that west side of that dormer. This would be to the north side on the back part of the house. The photos I had showed you originally, that would be the area that a lot of the charring was, so there was some paint applied there. However, we've got this piece of plywood that's been above that window from the inception of this write-up that has got nothing on it. This would be the dormer on the north side. There's no paint or anything been done to it. This would be the fence to the north side of the property. The upper left corner would be it's just a smaller version of the one in the bottom. You can see to the left-hand side of that photo, we're in between the spindles of the porch. You can see where the paint is almost completely gone on the back side or on the east side of that residence. This would be the fence on the north side, starting to fail again. And that would be the end of the presentation.
Through the chair, I have a question for Mr. Snyder, if that's possible. Why can't she reapply?
That would be a question for Ms. Eversole.
Okay, is there not a waiver for somebody in her? Because I see that she's making this appeal because of financial reasons, not able to pay. So we don't have any sort of, you don't know of anything with that program?
I don't want to speak out of turn in regards to that program since I'm not involved, but I just think that that's the rules that are factored into the beautification award. Again, that would be probably questions more suited for Debbie Eversole.
Okay.
If I may speak, in the letter that Debbie provided to Ms. Rowe on October 20th, 2023, the second to the last paragraph.
Right. No, I saw that. I understand. I just was wondering if they have any sort of exceptions to their rules for this, because I know we set aside money specifically for code compliance, and usually a lot of times that has to do with finances. So I was just wondering, because the beautification grant program is open to everyone, not just people in hard spots, but most of the time the stuff set aside for code compliance is people who are having struggles. So I didn't know if that was something, maybe it is definitely something to talk to Debbie about, so.
Okay. Don had a question.
No, she just asked the same question, and you clarified it. I believe you said that it was 3 years.
Yeah, 3
years.
180 days, I believe. She would be eligible in 2026.
Yeah, 12
so-
April 26.
So,
April
Yes, ma'am.
26th.
I have a question. I see that she hasn't been paying her fines, so even if she did reapply for the grant, I don't think they would allow her because,
be something that would have to be conversed with Ms. Eversole and seeing where the guidelines are for that program. So usually what we would do there is since we don't usually have any inner workings with that program other than being told whether an applicant receives it, if Debbie was to send us a letter or she sends an email letting us know who is eligible, so it would be up to that applicant to fill that application out, forward that to her, and then she would have to basically explain why it was the applicant was not eligible for the award. So.
Any more questions of Mr. Snyder? Okay, we're gonna ask Ms. Rowe to come up. Will you state your name and address for the record, please?
April Rowe, 1524 Columbus Ave.
Okay, so you actually live at this residence?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna just start out with two major question statements, so to speak. So I understand that you got approved for the beautification in 2020? I think that's when it
2022.
2022, okay. Forgive me, I'm writing notes while he was talking. What happened?
Well, financially, you have to have the money to match what they're offering, and financially, I didn't at that time. So I've just been doing the repairs as I can financially. all the repairs that he has down right now with the painting and the fence. I have the panels of fencing. I just have to wait on the gentleman to install them. And then with the, as far as the paint goes, I've paid 2 people and trusting that they were going to. He was even in contact with one of them.
Well,
as
that
far
was
as-
my other question for you. I mean, I got a couple for you, but that's my other question.
I didn't have anything in writing, so there's nothing I can prove
Well,
with.
even with you not having it in writing, you did not, to me, from what I'm reading in here, you didn't do your due diligence with the people that you hired. Because at the end of the day, they always tell you, never give money up front. If you do, you give a third, get the work done, give them the other third. When this work's completed, give them the third. But at this point,
Well, the gentleman that he was in contact with was a family friend, so I didn't think I was going to have any.
oh no, business is business. So family friend or not. So that's something that, I mean, I can understand. I think all of us can, but at some point in time, this is your money. So you need to be very careful who you give your money to, and you need to check out everybody that you're trying to work with at this point.
Well, the gentleman that I have that's doing the 2 upper on the 4th floor, the 2 windows, and then the back of the house, he actually out of pocket bought the paint already for himself, but he has 2 full-time jobs. And the 3 days that he was gonna come paint last week, it rained. So now I just have to wait on his schedule. I can't tell him to come and do it. I have to wait. It's the waiting game that I have to play with them.
Well, I mean, I get it. I mean, but, you know, again, the person that you hired to do the painting, he's not here. So that's when you state to that individual, time is of the essence, and I need this done. And you guys need to have a meeting of the minds and a date that this is going to be completed, because he's not the one that's being before us, you are. The other thing that I want to bring up is that you've had 1 administrative penalty that was waived. Did that not make you understand that how important this is to have taken?
Yeah, I
taken care
understand.
of? Well, you got a second $100 penalty. You have well, I should say, back to another $100 first administrative. That has not been paid. You also have a second administrative that's $500. That has not been paid. And again, you're at the third administrative, which is $1,000. Now, if we were so hungry for money, we would ask you for all $1,500, because or it's actually the $1,600. That's what you would be owing. I guess my question is, we've been at this juncture with you before, so I'm just not understanding why you're not at least trying to make arrangements. I mean, you could have contacted, Mr.
I've
Snyder,
been in contact with Ron.
okay, and what did he tell you?
Just, try to get it done by the dates that I can, but like I said, it's a big financial thing for me.
I get it, but they have agencies that do help when you're struggling. And I mean, I can't, I'm not in your shoes, so I can't really speak to that. But trust me, if I was gonna be looking at $1,000 penalty, I'd get creative. Any questions for her?
Ma'am, I have
Okay,
a question.
I-
Oh, Go ahead, no.
Okay, back to the grant. Did you know you had to, when you applied for the grant, the beautification grant, did you know ahead of time that you had to match the grant? Did you know that? Or,
Not at the time.
okay, so you thought that,
Paperwork, and then it explained it.
did you think the grant was free or what?
No, I thought there might have been some, I had turned my pay stubs in and they went off your finances, or like anything else that you apply for.
Okay, and back to the painter. This is what, your 3rd painter you've hired and he hasn't showed up?
No, he did show up with the paint and everything, but it rained 3 days last week that he has 2 full-time jobs. And the 3 days that he set aside last week to paint, he couldn't even, the ground was too soft for him to put the panels of fence up as well.
Okay, so with this 3rd painter, did you put any money down for him?
About the paint and everything, we went out to Menards, he paid for the
It's-
paint out of pocket by himself, I didn't pay anything.
He just wants to
And
be
he wants
paid after he
payment
finishes the
after
project.
After he finishes. And
Okay.
he's actually going to paint the whole back of the house, and, all 3 sides of the house and everything, and like I said, with the fence. and he said he can get paid after, because I worked with him before. And
He has painted some of this house then?
no, actually Floyd, my other neighbor, painted that little window thing up there on
It'd be
the fourth floor.
It'd be the west side, front of the house, the front
The front.
dormer.
Okay, but the third painter hasn't done anything yet?
No.
Okay, so
just bought the paint.
when is he due back? Do you have a date?
He's going to try for one day next week. He said he can get everything done in one day.
In one day? Next week?
You got a lot of work to be done. But you had a question,
I had a
Ron?
couple of things. What year was the fire?
17, I think.
Where did the
17 or 18.
Where did the fire funds go?
They came here and partial to the insurance check.
Okay. Did any of it go back in the home?
I don't know what the insurance company did once I signed over the rest of the money to them.
But did you use any of the monies that was granted to you from the fire fund to put back into the residence?
Yeah,
To use it
what
to
my
fix.
insurance didn't cover for the rest of the stuff on the inside of the house.
Okay. Does your painter understand that we're getting into the temperatures to where that paint's not going to here real well? So when we get into paint and we start talking about paints, and this comes directly from Sandusky Paints, any temperatures below 50 degrees, it's not good for the paint. I don't want to see you looking at having someone paint on surfaces to where if it's a large amount of space that doesn't have a chance to dry before we get into the evening hours and gets below 50 degrees, it's going to affect the paint to adhere to that surface.
That's probably why the paint's peeled on the back of the house, because if you remember, I painted that myself.
Is your painter, is this his normal work?
He does it like side work.
Yeah.
Is there any more questions?
I have a question. Ms. Gambino.
Yeah,
Okay, wait a minute, hold on.
Sorry.
Who's that? Mindy?
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, hon.
Hi, do you have proof of payment for the fence panels that are to be installed, that you've purchased them as you said you have?
No, he has everything, because I gave him the money or whatever, and he did everything when he bought the paint and stuff like that. We went
So he
together
went,
so I
like, he
could,
went
so
to
I
like the
could,
Lowe's or wherever, and he
Menards.
he went out Menards.
we went to Menards and picked
He
everything.
has the receipt for that. Do you have like a picture of it, like in your garage, or something
I
showing
can-
that they're on property?
I can get a picture.
I was just wondering, since you said you had them, I thought maybe you would have brought that. Okay, thank you.
And then what's your question, Sharon?
Okay, are you the only one only adult in the household?
No, I have 2 adult sons that work, or that live there.
I'm sorry,
2 adult sons,
2 adult sons? How old are they?
21 and 19.
Okay, and are you working?
Yes,
Okay. Are the sons working?
yes.
Okay. Okay.
I have one question, if I may. Do you have adequate funds now available to complete the items?
I had to
the
take on
list?
2 other jobs to financially do these repairs.
So what you have monies for right now available is the.
I have the money to pay him when he's done painting and putting up the fence panels, yes.
And the fence.
And he's
panel.
only charging me like minimum, like $450 to do all that.
So we'd still have outstanding items that needed to be addressed.
No, he's covering everything, the 2 fourth floor windows, the back painting, and the panels on the fence.
Well, even with the painting, we live in Ohio. So, I mean, today is, 58? Tomorrow could be 40 and 10 below. So paint is not gonna dry in the winter. That's just where we're at right now. And noticing all the different dates that, Mr. Ron has worked with you on. And then I just feel like you kind of done blew us off with them administrative penalties, because you could have came before us at any other point in time to work with us or to work with you and have things resolved. So I don't know what else to tell you at this point. I just know that it needs to get done. And we've worked with you long enough to do this. It's been since, my first note I got says 2022. We getting ready to hit 2026 in less than 3 months. That's
Stuff
4
that
years.
was in 22 and 23 was addressed. address thing that the restoration company after the fire painted over.
Some of
and-
it, and you know what? And I'm not gonna dispute here and there what was done, what's not done. It's just that this whole thing started in 2022. So as I said, we 2 months out, close to 3 months, and it's gonna be 2026. So this has been going on way too long, way too long. So today we are here about the administrative penalty. Does anyone have any suggestions? What is your pleasure? What are we gonna do?
I'd like to make a motion based on the testimony that we heard. It sounds to me like she is, got somebody who's going to do the work. Now, the weather concerns that Mr. Snyder raised, I think, are valid. And so this is kind of, she says next week, but we don't know. So I'd like to table it, but not for too far out, because like you said, we've been here a long time with this case. So maybe just to get back with her, maybe she does get it done next week, like she said she's going to. Can we table it till next month?
She technically has
I'd like to
two
make-
issues. So
Yeah.
before you make your motion, her getting the work done, that's not what we're here for today. The
Okay,
administrative penalty is what we're here for. She owes
right. And
$1,000.
And I
for this
wouldn't make a
third month.
motion, I wouldn't make a motion to grant her appeal unless we know this is getting done like she said. So I'm not going to make a motion to grant the appeal. I would just like to make a motion to table it till our next meeting.
Well, we can do that, but we have to address the first penalty in the room, or I should say, address what we're here for.
Right.
She has a motion on the floor.
I have, a motion to table this penalty, to table whether we grant or deny the appeal until our next meeting.
Do we have a second? Okay. The motion died. So, as I stated, we have $1,000 penalty that we're looking at today. So I am going to make a motion. I might get some yays, might get some nays. We can work with you on the penalty. What I'm going to suggest is that at this point in time, I'm making a motion that we'll cut your penalty in half to $500, but you're obligated to pay that. So that is my motion. I don't know if I'll get a second or not, but that is my motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 No opposed?
I'm opposed.
That's fine. Trika, call.
Ms. Gamblin?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Sure.
Yes.
Ms. Warner?
Yes.
Ms. Bonson?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, so now my suggestion to you at this point is I would work with Ms. Parker as close as I can, or Mr. Snyder. I'm not in your pockets, I don't know your money, but I'm gonna say that if you need to do $100 a month, if you need to do $150 a month. So I'm not saying you gotta do all 500 at one point, but you do need to pay. So at the end of the day, you need to make payment arrangements and follow through with them.
May I make a comment?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so since you have went ahead and went with the administrative penalty, reduced the amount, right? I just want to get this on record. The third penalty usually results after the fact to a criminal charge and a trip to municipal court in front of a judge. Hang on. If you're going to get this done, I don't have to file that criminal charge, but you're going to have to get this done. So, and there again, I can work with you like I've always told you that I would, but I just want it on record. Can you get this done within a reasonable amount of time?
So what I'd like to do with that part is, I'd like to take Lisa's suggestion and make a motion that you need to have this done by the 18th of November. That's our next meeting. So you better tell your boy to step it up, that you need to have it done, because if it's not done, Mr. Snyder just told you what's gonna happen.
Didn't we just,
Oh.
didn't we just deny the appeal?
No, we didn't deny the appeal.
Is that what just happened?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah, it was
Because I know we-
partial. As I view it, was a partial denial
As
of
a
the
partial
appeal,
denial of the appeal.
reducing it to 500. But once that's done, this board loses jurisdiction.
Yes.
As he pointed out, the next step is municipal court.
Okay. Okay.
So there's nothing more for this board to consider once they've denied the appeal.
Okay, no, and that's fine.
What I will do so that it is on record, okay, we have these paint concerns, we have weather concerns, all right? You need to talk with your painter, right? Have him talk to some professionals if he is not a professional, right? If working you out until the spring is more conducive to getting this stuff done, I don't have an issue with that. But I would probably establish that if we're not done in the Mayish or Junish area, the charge will go forward, okay?
I can get the fence done, even if the painting thing is unknown.
Well, that would be progress, and that would grant you an extension anyhow.
Can I get a motion for adjournment? Yeah, but I'm after the meeting.
So moved to adjourn the meeting.
It's been moved and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No opposed? Okay. Just work with them. Thank you.